preseason is ready, man. We got some things going on in that particular aspect of it. But like I said in the top of the show, week 1 is here. Preseason for everybody is starting tomorrow. Games are on. I think we got 4 games tomorrow and 4 games Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Got a full slate of games all day. So if you're doing nothing but sitting on your couch, there'll be football on your TV. So, gentlemen, let's talk about storylines in regards to the preseason. What are the biggest storylines that you're tracking that you want to, I guess you can see watch play out in the preseason starting with week 1? Start with you, G.
I think the biggest one is probably got to be this Browns QB conundrum. And which one of those?
We got to stop letting AG go first, man.
I know, right? Well, you did to me last pod, RG.
No wonder having on first once.
I'm only going in the order how we on the screen. It's not personal, brother. It's not personal.
Takes my topics. He gets the snickle fritz, dude.
I see through the lies of the Jedi ways.
That's a good one.
I think that's got to be probably the biggest, if not definitely one of the biggest storylines to watch as the preseason develops. Obviously, we've got the Shador Deshaun Watson battle. All reports have been they both are certifiable ass right now. So time will tell. We even got Todd Monken adding more fuel to it every day when he gets in front of a microphone. So it's going to be a very intriguing preseason. And I think that's going to be the most exciting battle to watch during this 3-week stretch.
Good point. And they're definitely both going to have to play because we have no clear winner in this conversation yet. Although they named Deshaun the starter for this one, I think we might have talked about it backstage about how we feel like that Deshaun's going to start 1 week, then Shador's going to start another week, but they'll just trade off until they figure out who's going to be the one, air quote, person that's ahead of the room. Now, let me ask you this, since you brought that up, because this is something I was going to bring up because I say you stole my topic. But in regards to this particular conversation, and this is leaning towards Kyler Murray winning over J.J. McCarthy, right? So what does that mean for Deshaun Watson if he loses his job? Because he's the one highly paid person in this conversation. Shador is a 5th-round pick. This contract is definitely not of the ilk of Deshaun. So if Deshaun loses out to Shador, hypothetically, what does that mean for Deshaun Watson's livelihood? Let me say it that way.
He's out of the league.
Okay.
I don't know if he'd necessarily be out of the league, but he ain't getting no more bags for him. He's going to be a league minimum veteran backup for a while.
And I think someone like him, after everything he's gone through, I almost feel like, and the fact that he was absolutely blessed with that contract, whether he deserved it or not, take that for what you will. Call it divine intervention or just Brown's stupidity. Both are very much on the table. I think at that point, your career's done. We've seen him on an NFL field, and he does not belong by any stretch.
He used to look like he did.
He did. It was miraculous, and he is truly, without a doubt, one of the biggest what if in NFL history.
Yeah, he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now.
And he's
absolutely crazy.
And if he doesn't right the ship this year and get back to anywhere close to the form he was in Houston, that got to be one of the greatest fall offs in the NFL history. You're looking at, they were talking top 5, top 10, 10-ish. How you rated it when he was at Houston.
His last year in Houston, he almost threw 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. They were talking. That's why everybody figured that contract, he's going to get a bag. It's just a question of what the bag was going to be. It wasn't a question of if, it's how much. Cleveland swooped in and gave him fully guaranteed money in his special. That pissed off every owner in the league outside of the Browns. But then he didn't play a meaningful down since then, if I have my numbers correct. So that's the issue.
He's played in the most games he's played in since he signed that contract to 7 in a season.
Wow.
6
and 6 the other 2.
And I haven't even played half a season yet.
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta cash in and play for the season. If they're terrible and they're looking at a top 5 draft pick around week 13, 14-ish, they're probably giving the hook and let Shador play. But he's gotta look decent in the conversation that they can justify the money at all, because right now they got egg all over their face.
I feel like just given money-wise and like the Browns are going to do everything they can to save some face on the amount of money they spent. Like, unless Deshaun Watson just goes out and throws an interception every time he touches the field this preseason, he's going to be a starting quarterback for week 1.
Just on money alone, I would agree with that, but there's a conversation. Shador looks like, because let's be honest, he's, whatever you believe about what he did off the field, whatever your belief is, your belief. I'm not going to get into that, but the opinion on Deshaun is not great. He is persona non grata for most people right now. And Shador, conversely, is selling jerseys. Like, people are advocating for him to play in Cleveland. So you got to look at it from that perspective, because if nothing else, if jerseys are falling off the shelf, which if Shador is playing, you got to look at it from a business perspective. If he's head and shoulders above Deshaun in play wise, when it comes down to how they look in the preseason, and he's selling jerseys, if you're the owners and GM for the Browns, and the monkey from a perspective of being a first time head coach, you got to ride the hot hand, do you not?
Not if you're Jimmy Haslam. He's going to step in and say, nope, I want that guy to start, and that guy's going to start.
Well, that's the thing. He loved Shador last year. Remember, he wanted to push the button on Stefanski taking him. They didn't want it.
But like you said, he needs to save some face and somewhat try to justify that contract he gave Watson. You flat out start Shador to start the season. You're already saying that's it. It's over. You admit defeat right off the bat. He's going to at least try to get something out of Watson. He'll start. Book it now. Mark my words. Watson will start the first 6-7 games, and when they're winless in those games, that's when Shador is going to come in.
You heard it. I don't know. I think it's a tougher decision. I think it's a tougher decision for my money. I really do. I think that from a perspective of, I guess you can say, what's best for the team and the morale of the team, if people are rallying behind Shador because they're looking at him as the better quarterback, the team, the fans, all that working against you, you've eaten the money up to this point. He's been with them, 3 years, and he hadn't played more than 7 games?
So what's
damn near played, he's played one full season of games in the 3 years
in the time frame. So what's another year if you're going to be in a better conversation, unless you're already looking at it from a projection that you're trying to air quote tank for whoever's going to be in the draft next year. So if you already got that on your mind, then it is what it is. So you throw Deshaun out there knowing that he's going to shit the bed and he obviously going to be a top 5 or top 3 pick in the draft next year, then it is what it is. But I don't know. But I would think that you could be smart about it because you got Dylan Gabriel behind him, who's even worse than the other two.
It's crazy though. I just looked at Dylan Gabriel's stats and he was way better than Shador. Better percentage wise, had 7 touchdowns to 2 picks. I was like, damn, I think it's just because he's a midget. So
in that space, I also think he had a little bit of play into it too. Because I don't think Stefanski wanted. It's the reason why he's gone. I don't think Stefanski had any inclination of helping Shador look successful at all. It's why he's not there anymore, because that's the owner siding with the quarterback he wanted versus the head coach. So, but again, it's all speculation in my conspiracy brain, but it is what it is. I think that it's just a conversation. I would say that if you're going to ride with Deshaun and try to be bad this year, he appear to be competitive, but you want to be bad because you want to draft a new quarterback. Then you throw Deshaun out there, keep Dylan Gabriel back up, and trade Shador to somebody that's an eating quarterback on that conversation. So trade him to the Cardinals. See what happens. We'll see. But although Carson Beck looked great last week, so that's a little different animal on that space. But all right, RG, what you got for headlines? Do you got another headline, AG, before I move on to RG?
I'll let you guys go, and then I have another.
We'll circle back. Okay, we'll circle back. All right, RG, what you got?
So my headline for the first week of preseason is going to be Fernando Mendoza. According to Clint Kubiak, he has reported that Fernando Mendoza is going to get, quote, plenty of playing time in this first preseason game against the Cardinals at home. So by that, I'm expecting at minimum at least the first half or second half, depending on how they want to do it. But judging by what he's saying, I'm going to assume it's probably going to be maybe at least 3 quarters there or something along those lines, 2.5 or something like that. First drive at a halftime, whatever. But I think this is really we're finally going to get to see some film of him on an NFL field. Again, it is preseason. He's going up against a lot of second, third team, not really starting caliber guys, but you're going to really start to see how he handles the pressure and handles being an NFL player. A lot of guys, that first initial step, trying to overcome that is very difficult. And to see if we come away from that game and he looks comfortable out there, he maybe threw a touchdown or 2, ran a little bit. We'll see what he can do. I think that's more or less what you want to see as a Raiders fan. Obviously, if you're a Raiders fan, you want to see him just absolutely throw 3 touchdown passes in the first half, just absolutely light up. But I think you just want to see him be comfortable out there. This will definitely play a lot into the Raiders deciding if they want to start him or not for week 1. I've always been on the bus and the train that
you're going to say it. I knew you're going to say it.
I'm always going to say it when it comes to these young quarterbacks,
on that bus,
especially number 1 overall picks. You got to start them immediately. You got to know what you have. Whole waiting thing. If you're going to take somebody that needs to wait, they don't deserve to be taken in the first round. That's just my opinion. I've always firmly believed that if you're a quarterback being taken in the first round, you should start immediately, because you're in a first-round talent. You are expected to start immediately, and you're expected to contribute immediately. Now, obviously, the leeway starts to go the further down the first round you get, but definitely for a first overall pick, that there is no leeway. You need to show immediately that you were the reason. You are you need to show immediately why you were the number 1 overall pick and prove all the haters and the doubters wrong and show the Raiders that they didn't make a mistake. They made the right choice and the future is bright. So I think it's a preseason game, but there is still a bit of pressure on Mendoza to at least show he's NFL caliber.
Okay. I like it.
Coach, you asked me if I had one. I shit you not. My second one was, how will Mendoza translate in the NFL? I cried once RG started going. I was like, damn, I would have taken his too if you had me go again.
Oh, that is funny.
And national championship rematch coming up against Carson Beck, so that'd be cool.
Oh, that's right.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Little nugget of information that we that's a good one. A little bit. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. For me, I think that's interesting because it's more of a, I guess you call it a deeper dive because we know that he's not going to start this year based upon who's in front of him, right? But by all intents and purposes, because I brought this up in our draft coverage in our sleeper segment, and I don't know if it was RG or AG was on a video with me when we talked about sleepers. I'm almost positive it was you. We talked about quarterbacks and how the class was we just skipped over it because everybody outside of Mendoza was like everybody was off of them.
Yep.
But Drew Aller, ladies and gentlemen, has been lighting shit up in Steelers practice. He looks really good in McCarthy's offense. So I'm looking forward to seeing Drew Aller play some snaps with the Steelers and see if that translates to the actual game. I won't call it a simulation, but an actual game, live fire action going against a different team because he's been on time. He's been accurate as hell. Arm strength, everything that I talked about for his physical traits. Because I touched on it just a slight bit, but I just didn't understand the idea of what happened. I didn't realize he did get hurt. But even before the first 5 games before he got hurt, he was struggling at Penn State because everybody had him in the top 10 conversation of being one of the prospects to come out of the draft that's going to be an elite quarterback to pick up in the 2026 draft. So he fell to, I want to say like the 5th round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Amazing the fact that they might have stumbled into their franchise quarterback because we've all argued the idea of the Pittsburgh never want to reset things in a sense and go high with draft a quarterback or move waves to draft a quarterback high to bring themselves back into fold since Ben Roethlisberger has been retired. So if they lucked up into a good franchise quarterback, Aller that late, they struck gold in my opinion. I mean, the kid is 6'5". Oh, 3rd round. I'm sorry, I undersold it. Round, excuse me. So they took him in the 3rd round. So clearly, Mike McCarthy saw something in the kid. He has all the traits. I mean, he's mobile, tall, 6'5", has cannon arm, and poo-poo on his accuracy. But she can't tell. All these practice film I've been seeing, he's looked like a monster. So if he lights it up in preseason, man, the Steelers might have stole one. It's just a conversation where you looked at it from he didn't do much in his last year of college, so people forgot about him, but. For all his purposes, he has all the physical traits to be a good quarterback, but I don't think we're looking at it after the Richardson conversation. I think we might be looking at a franchise guy if he pans out. So we'll see. But that's gonna be a good one for Mike McCarthy to hang his hat on if he hit that mark. So I'm looking to on that particular storyline for the preseason. So we want to get anybody got any secondary ones they want to address? I got one more if y'all don't have any.
I was gonna say, and I know we've talked about the situation as a whole, but I think it's gonna be interesting, especially in week 1, but through the preseason, just to see how the Eagles' offensive philosophy is going to look with Sean Mannion calling plays, a guy who, as I pointed out a couple weeks ago, was on the Seahawks active roster in 2023. So he's quite literally fresh off the field into the booth, and we all know the turmoil with the Eagles OC, the Eagles offense. Like I said a couple weeks ago, they've been trying to rebuild things on the fly while also depleting some pretty big assets in their game. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Saquon and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts are not playing that much of preseason, but we're at least going to get a look of what Mannion likes to do in terms of setting things up. Is he a big RPO guy? How are they going to do that stuff, and how is it going to differentiate from some of the crap we've seen from the Eagles offense the past few seasons?
I like that. That's a good one. RG, got any more? I got one more if you don't have any.
No, go for it.
Okay. I think that the Saints intrigue me. Is Tyler Shuck going to play in the preseason? Chris Olave, Jordan Tyson, who he drafted in that particular offense, Kellen Moore in the 2nd year. I think that could be a really sneaky team. If they start to show a few things from a progression standpoint from Tyler Shuck, man, they might have struck one too. We didn't give Tyler Shuck much of a shot at being a franchise guy, but he played decent in the back end of last year. If that continues or he progresses, he's really comfortable in his office now because he spent a whole year with Kellen Moore. So that could be a storyline too. I think that it'd be right to play him just a little bit just to keep him trending in that direction. I'm looking to see what the Saints look like on offense, especially, man. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation with them in that division because We don't know what the Bucs going to be like. The Panthers, to me, is the favorite, but they keep getting injured left and right. They keep losing players, so we don't know. And Atlanta is a wild card too. We don't even know who the damn quarterback's going to be at this point. So wide open. It really is wide open. And if you're not careful, and the Saints play well, you would argue they got the least drama. They got the least amount of drama right now. If they can get a decent amount of play out of their quarterback, then they could strike gold. They could win it. You can imagine them being the division winners this year. That'd be crazy.
Make a quick point too to support both your takes here regarding Sean Mannion and the Saints, talking about how these quarterbacks just retire and quickly they're already promoted offensive coordinators. Just to name a few, obviously Sean Mannion, David Blau for the Commanders. Yep. And then Kellen Moore, of course, the head coach, Davis Webb. So I guess the league has seen the success that Kellen Moore had and has decided that, hey, these backup quarterbacks, maybe they weren't the best on the field, but their minds and all these different schemes that they absorbed of all the years and being in different franchises and different coaching rooms, things like that. There's a lot of value there. And I think we might start to see we've already started it, but I think we'll start to see a much sharper trend. These former quarterbacks taking on, maybe not as quickly coordinator and head coaching jobs, but pass game coordinators, things like that, quarterbacks, coaches. I think it's going to be a little bit of a new era in that regard.
And they're doing right by aligning themselves with good play callers to be their air quote mentors. You got Declan Doyle, align himself with Ben Johnson. Everybody's come through the McVay tree, the Shanahan tree, to name a few. So, right, and it's the surgeons with offensive play callers rising the ranks pretty quickly, because I would argue that anybody that you named or is in that pipeline, they're going to be in line for a head coaching job soon if they hit, right? So because everybody's saying just hire the head coach that is a good play caller. And then the fact that you have the prowess of being a quarterback or just knowing the quarterback position to that degree, because you play quarterback all your life, no matter whether or not you were really successful in your performance on the field or not, to regulate the game, you can see it. It's definitely ingrained in you. So that was going to do nothing but support your quarterback in that conversation. So if you got a franchise quarterback that you need to make hit, because again, we always say that if your franchise quarterback is not hitting, you don't have anything. So if that particular ideology is going to continue, these guys are going to be head coaches before you, assuming that they hit. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what Declan Doyle does and Sean Mannion for sure. And interesting too about Davis Webb, because he's under Sean Payton and he's going to have the reins. But I heard Sean say yesterday that it's going to be a tag team effort. It's not going to be just him wolves.
Already stepping back.
Exactly. Already back, right? So we'll see. We'll see. But definitely you're spot on with that argument, because these offensive coordinators are doing right as far as the matriculation is concerned, and they're shooting up the ranks really quick. That's for sure.
What do you think about some of them too? Like when RG was making his point, not to be the Homer Mizzou fan, but I thought of someone like Chase Daniel, who's played for like Sean Payton, Andy Reid, was in Detroit, was like all these made all these stops. It's like just to be able to pick that mind. And today I feel like in the NFL, at least on the offensive side of the ball, it's all about developing a young quarterback. And it's like, what better asset for that than someone who's like been drugged through all the grind forever, been in the same room as top tier NFL play calling minds. It's like that's how you tap into it.
I agree.
I've pounded the table for Phillip Rivers to come back to the organization and be a coach in some regard, because same thing.
Assuming we last year.
It's like I'm gonna be player coach.
Right. Oh, that's funny. That's like the youngest longest John reference. Yes, it's crazy. This crazy. Okay, good stuff. That's a good one. Damn, that's a good one, man. But I agree, man. If Phillip definitely wants to coach, and Chase Daniel has an easy. Granted, he's doing a really good podcast now, but shouts out to him. But I think that he would be great, and he can call Kellen Moore tomorrow and be on his staff today. In my opinion, he was in LA when Kellen Moore was there. So clearly, Kellen Moore is the guy, and he's the play caller. But he can be under him and just get the experience from that coaching perspective. Start to get your feet wet, and then once he really wants to be to the point where he wants to branch out his own, I'm sure he'll have a path. So I definitely like that argument as well. But he's ex-quarterbacks being offensive coordinators is definitely a slam dunk idea for sure.